What if George Orwell never existed? Not as you've been taught. His name was a shield, his life a shadow play, and his most terrifying prophecies, Big Brother, Thought Police, Newspeak, weren't imagined. They were blueprints, stolen from history's darkest chapters, and buried in plain sight. We've been told 1984 is fiction, but what if it's a transmission, a desperate warning from a man who infiltrated empires, fought in secret wars, and uncovered a truth so dangerous it forced him to hide behind lies? A truth about us, about the algorithms manipulating your feed, the surveillance cameras tracking your descent, the language slowly shrinking your freedom to think. Orwell didn't predict the future. He exposed a cycle, one we're trapped in again. The same puppet masters he warned about, they're here. They've rebranded. They don't need torture chambers. When they have your data, your screen, your silence. This video isn't about a dead author. It's about you. The war he described never ended. It just evolved. And right now, you're on the battlefield. Delete your assumptions. Forget the fiction label. We're dissecting Orwell's hidden life, decoding the real meaning behind 1984, and revealing why his final message is screaming at us through every trending lie, every rewritten fact, every vanished truth. The clock's ticking. By the end of this video, you'll never see your world or your freedom the same way again. Stay and wake up. Long before Big Brother and Room 101, there was Eric Arthur Blair. Born into a family that was genteel poor, they clung to colonial fantasies, polishing silverware they couldn't afford while their debts crumbled their home. They labeled him a nobody, but Blair had the courage to see what others were too afraid to acknowledge. The world operates like a factory, and you're either the hammer or the nail. At St. Cyprian's, a place that felt more like a prison than a school, they taught him to know his place. The elite boys had fathers who owned mines where children coughed up blood, while charity cases like Blair were just living proof of the empire's supposed kindness. He fought back with his pen and paper, unraveling the true lessons, how to suffocate hope, idolize chains, and label oppression as order. Each day unveiled fresh layers of hypocrisy, teachers preaching virtue while crushing spirits, chaplains talking about divine love while turning a blind eye to human suffering. They kicked him out for seeing too much, so Blair took the plunge into the unknown. He wandered through the slums of Paris, the gutters of London, and the battlefields of Spain, not just observing poverty but allowing it to shape him. Blair realized the system wasn't broken. It was a well-oiled machine designed to target dreams, silence voices, and stifle the right to protest. In the shadows of society, he found truth in the eyes of the forgotten, wisdom in the whispers of the oppressed, and resilience in those who refuse to be crushed. He mapped out the hidden mechanisms that keep us in line, divide and conquer, pitting workers against immigrants, keeping them preoccupied with mere survival. Language as a cage, twisting words like terrorist, dissident, and patriot to prevent unity. Manufactured shame, convincing the starving that they deserve only scraps. Each of these tools is meticulously crafted to maintain control, ensuring the masses remain subdued while their spirits are slowly ground down under the weight of unseen chains. In the gritty kitchens of Paris, among the homeless in London, and in the trenches of Spain, Blair encountered the harsh truth about power, how it corrupts, how it blinds, and how it can turn ordinary people into willing executioners of others' dreams. He observed how education shifted into indoctrination, how media transformed into manipulation, and how technology evolved from a helpful tool into a deceptive trap. Blair's most significant realization? They want you to feel powerless. That's why he took on the persona of George Orwell and penned 1984 not merely as a work of fiction, but as a guide for survival. This isn't just history, it's a cycle. The same puppeteers, the same lies, just wearing different masks. Blair's childhood reflects your own, his anger becomes your weapon, and his truth serves as the only compass in this chaotic storm. His evolution from a privileged schoolboy to a revolutionary writer wasn't just a personal journey, it was a blueprint for awakening. In every word he crafted, in every truth he unveiled, Blair fought not only against power, but also against the numbing of the human spirit. He taught us that resistance doesn't start with grand gestures, but with the simple act of seeing things clearly, of rejecting the comfortable lies that keep us shackled. Orwell didn't foresee the future. He gave you a roadmap to shatter it. But the lingering question is, Will you take action? In 1922, Eric Blair makes a shocking choice. He betrays his own beliefs. He signs up as a British imperial officer, pledging loyalty to the very empire he loathes. For 5 long years, Blair juggles 2 identities. By day, he's the enforcer of the crown. By night, he becomes a saboteur. He meticulously documents the horrors he witnesses: villages set ablaze for insubordination, prisoners subjected to brutal interrogations with hot irons and deceit, colonial judges trading justice for opium. Then comes the pivotal night that shapes Orwell. A shackled teenager locks eyes with Blair, whispering, "Do it. Show you're one of them." The whip snaps. Blair's hand shakes. The boy doesn't scream. He laughs. In a moment of clarity, he resigns mid-shift. He burns his uniform and disappears into the shadows of humanity. For years, Blair lives as a ghost, a dishwasher in grim Parisian dives where rats feast better than the workers, a professional beggar exchanging his dignity for stale bread, a cellmate of thieves who teach him the harsh realities of life. Steal from the rich, you'll hang. Steal a country, you'll be knighted. Blair didn't just observe poverty, he allowed it to consume him, seeking to answer a haunting question. What happens when society erases you? 3 harsh truths he uncovered. 1. Invisible chains. A factory owner discreetly hands coins to a priest. Sunday's sermon. Poverty is God's test. 2. The theater of guilt. Wealthy women toss pennies to Blair, then retch into their silk handkerchiefs. 3. The ultimate weapon. They solve our existence by pretending we don't matter. But Blair's real education began in 1936. In Spain, a fascist's bullet changes everything. Clinically dead for 37 seconds, Blair glimpses the future. Not tanks or bombs, but the death of truth. Fellow allies erasing heroes from photographs. Reporters twisting massacres into noble sacrifices. Blair, now known as Orwell, finally got it. The true battlefield isn't about territory. It's all in your head. The fascists, the Soviets, the capitalists, they're all playing from the same script. 1. Create an enemy, Jews, kulaks, immigrants, you. 2. Rewrite history on the fly, gaslight the public until they question their own sanity. 3. Market fear as a form of salvation. Surveillance keeps you safe. Censorship protects our kids. They shot Orwell in Spain, but they truly killed Eric Blair. What came out of that was a force, a man who turned words into weapons to reveal the biggest deception of the century. They led us to believe that tyranny would come with boots on the ground and blaring sirens. But it's already here. It's hiding behind algorithms, swapping gulags for likes, and we're signing up willingly. If liberty means anything, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. So I pose this question to you. When your life is on the line, when the lies outnumber the stars in the sky, will you stand up for the truth like Orwell, or will you bow down and call it peace? George Orwell is making waves again. The guy who warned us about the dangers of thought control has now been boiled down to a hashtag. But if you dive back into his fiction, you'll discover a roadmap for 2025. What many dismissed as just dystopian tales have turned into essential guides for navigating today's control systems. This barnyard story holds some profound insights. 4 legs good, 2 legs better. Crypto influencers touting equality from their lavish penthouses, while tech billionaires peddle digital freedom but build their own walled gardens. Napoleon's secret bank vault. Venture capitalists have shifted from shaking things up to controlling the system, with once revolutionary platforms now acting as the new oppressors. Squealer's algorithm. AI tools rewriting history on the fly, social media feeds curating our reality, and fact-checkers deciding what's true based on corporate agendas. Orwell's brilliance wasn't just about Stalin. He unveiled the cult of progress, the cycle where new masters turn into old tyrants. He illustrated how revolutions get commodified, packaged, and sold back to the people. Every uprising morphs into a marketing campaign, every protest becomes a branded hashtag, and every resistance movement is ripe for a Netflix series. The warnings from this book have become our everyday life. Big Brother is watching. Our smart devices listen, track, and judge us while we willingly play along. Our phones trace our steps, our searches expose our thoughts, and our social media posts become permanent records. Newspeak, where misinformation refers to inconvenient truths and safety is the excuse for censorship. Language itself twists to restrict thought, complex ideas get boiled down to buzzwords, and nuanced discussions are flattened into binary choices. Doublethink, accepting contradictions like surveillance protects freedom and infinite growth on finite resources. We find ourselves in a state of knowing and not knowing, believing and doubting, accepting and rejecting all at once. The telescreen has morphed into our smartphones, the thought police have transformed into algorithms, and the memory hole has become content moderation. We're now carrying our own surveillance devices, funding our own censors, and cheering on our own limitations. With every notification, every update, and every terms of service agreement, the digital noose gets tighter. Orwell's brilliance wasn't just in foreseeing surveillance technology. He revealed how we would willingly accept our own monitoring. The party's motto of ignorance is strength has evolved into our mantra: scroll, consume, obey, repeat. We've crafted a reality where distraction is the currency, attention is a commodity, and truth is whatever happens to be trending. Orwell provided us with some tactical resistance strategies. 1. Become unhackable. Go back to analog when needed. Keep physical books, jot down thoughts in paper journals, and nurture face-to-face relationships. 2. Learn their language. Turn their systems to your advantage. Get savvy with the platforms while staying independent from them. 3. Kindness is sabotage. Foster community quietly. Genuine human connections can disrupt digital control. His ultimate message wasn't one of despair, but of strategic hope. He encouraged us to spot erasure rituals, recognize when exploitation is dressed up as opportunity and when oppression masquerades as progress. Preserve memory, keep a record of everything before it gets altered, and archive the truth before it's updated. Break the trance. Realize that every action online is a choice, and every click is a vote for the world we're shaping. The modern world has brought Orwell's predictions to life in ways he might never have envisioned. Social credit systems, predictive policing, behavior modification algorithms, all marketed as conveniences, all accepted as essentials. We've constructed a prison of comfort, where the bars are made of likes and shares. They believe we're just lost in our screens. But Orwell revealed a deeper truth. Every system has its flaws. Every lie eventually fades away. Even the mightiest structures can crumble. The very tools designed to control us also hold the potential for their own downfall. Every database is vulnerable to leaks, every algorithm can be manipulated, and every narrative can be questioned. The instruments of control can transform into tools of freedom. Our task isn't just to resist the system, it's to see it clearly enough to change it. The digital age promised us connection, but often left us feeling isolated. It offered freedom but led to dependence. It claimed to provide knowledge but instead created confusion. The real question isn't whether you'll engage in this struggle, you're already part of it. Every post you make, every purchase you complete, and every mindless scroll you do makes you a player in this game. The crucial question is, will you be aware of your role? Will you take charge of these tools, or will you let them control you? You've been handed the blueprint. Will you use it to tear down their ministry of truth, or will you allow it to keep shaping your reality? Will you stay a consumer of the truths handed to you, or will you become a creator of genuine understanding? The choice is yours, as it always has been. But keep in mind, in a world where consent is manufactured, simply thinking for yourself is a revolutionary act. The flame that Orwell ignited still flickers. It's up to us to keep it burning bright. Let's dive into a little game. You've got 10 seconds to show you're not just another cog in the machine. How many terms of service have you mindlessly agreed to? When was the last time you questioned a headline that perfectly matched your beliefs? Who's really in charge of that voice in your head? Be real with yourself. Diagnosis is in, you've caught a case of peace crime. The symptoms? A blind trust in apps that trade your anxiety for ad dollars, a kind of Stockholm syndrome for algorithms that turn your outrage into memes, and a dangerous sense of normalcy, thinking, I've got nothing to hide, while you hand over your soul to digital overlords. Orwell had a glimpse of your future, not the heavy boots of oppression, but the jarring surprises of modern life. Not grim torture chambers, but the latest TikTok trends. Yet he also left behind 3 keys to unlock your cage. Let's take a closer look at them. What's the first lie they peddle? Questioning everything makes you paranoid. That's just not true. Paranoia is actually the defense mechanism of free thought. Here's where to start. When fact-checkers label war crimes as disputed, take the time to dig for the truth before the digital evidence disappears. Don't buy into your bank's greenwashing while they're funding environmental destruction. Pay attention to whistleblowers, even if it costs you some social standing. Push back against official narratives, especially when dissent comes with a price. Being ungovernable isn't just about rebellion, it's about embracing radical skepticism. Orwell didn't trust politicians or ideologues. He believed in those who experienced reality firsthand, who could sense the decay before the press releases came out. Your mission? Start with the conspiracies they ridicule the loudest. That's often where the most uncomfortable truths are hiding. They've turned your vocabulary into a weapon. Misinformation now refers to truths that challenge those in power. Terrorist is a label slapped on anyone who dares to think differently. It's time to take back our words. Safety should mean real protection, not censorship or restricted spaces. It's about having the right to breathe clean air, drink pure water, and speak freely without being watched. Community is all about genuine human connections, people who share banned books, safeguard privacy, and keep forgotten histories alive. Love transforms into an act of defiance, strong enough to shatter algorithmic chains and loud enough to drown out propaganda. Modern Newspeak twists user experience into voluntary surveillance, content moderation into thought control, digital wellness into behavioral modification, smart technology into domestic spying, social credit into automated obedience. Each polished phrase hides a deeper control mechanism. Once you learn to decode their language, you start to see the prison bars, Orwell's secret weapon. People too busy just trying to get by to fall for propaganda. The overworked parent, the independent farmer, the underground repair technician. They resist not because of ideology, but out of necessity. Their lives don't fit the approved narrative. The proles embody practical resistance. Opt for repair instead of planned obsolescence. Create local food networks that aren't under corporate thumb. Share practical skills amidst the noise of advertisements. Develop analog alternatives to digital dependencies. Support underground economies that cater to community needs. Every act of self-sufficiency chips away at the system. You become harder to profile, predict, and control. You reclaim your humanity. The system thrives on your belief in its power. But if you look closely at Orwell's hidden message in the conclusion of 1984, it becomes clear. Authoritarian control ultimately hinges on our willingness to comply. Their grip loosens when you turn away from their fear-mongering, create art and culture that defies their rules, keep alive the histories and ideas they've tried to erase, establish systems that operate outside their control, connect with others who can see through the facade. True resistance looks like teaching kids to think critically amidst the distractions of social media, setting up local mesh networks that bypass corporate internet, cultivating food in community gardens while delivery apps falter. Writing by hand when AI is watching every keystroke, meeting face-to-face while surveillance capitalism tracks our online interactions. In today's Orwellian world, we don't need physical chains. We carry our prisons in our pockets, wear them on our wrists, and install them in our homes. Yet this reality makes liberation both more challenging and simpler. It starts with recognizing our own role in the system. Your phone isn't just a gadget, it's a gateway to the largest behavior modification experiment in history. Every notification, every scroll, every like reshapes your thoughts in ways that Orwell's Ministry of Truth could only dream of. The way out is here, not in some far-off revolution, but in the small acts of digital defiance we choose every day, in prioritizing human connection over algorithm-driven engagement, in remembering that the most revolutionary act is to think your own thoughts, feel your own feelings, and live your own life. The choice is yours. Keep scrolling through a carefully curated reality, or break free into the messy, beautiful, ungovernable truth of human existence. The tools for liberation are already in your hands. The real question is, are you ready to use them? The war that Orwell warned us about isn't just a thing of the past. It's unfolding right in front of you, in your social media feeds, your bank account, and your everyday online life. This isn't merely content, it's a call to action. It's a guide for breaking free from the invisible chains we've come to accept as the norm. You're not just watching a video, you're experiencing a wake-up call. Every view, every share, and every comment chips away at their control. We're not just building an audience, we're igniting a revolution of awareness. In the next episode, we'll reveal how they've turned Brave New World into a profit-driven model, using pleasure as a weapon and turning addiction into engagement. This isn't just another channel, it's a digital underground railroad. Each week we uncover more of their strategies, teach new defense tactics, and connect with those ready to take back their minds. They'll try to silence us. Good. Their censorship only shows we're hitting a nerve. The more they push back, the stronger we become. Their biggest fear? Informed, connected, and fearless individuals who can't be bought or deceived. Don't just sit back, take action. Don't just hit share. Get organized. Don't just nod in agreement, stand up and fight. The resistance isn't on its way, it's already here, alive in every individual who says enough is enough. Subscribe today, turn on those notifications, join our backup channels. Because when they attempt to silence us, and they will, you'll want to know where to uncover the truth. Your next click could be the first step toward your freedom. Make it meaningful. Remember, you're not alone. You're not losing your mind. You're not without power. You are the spark that they fear. Ignite the flame.